What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Keeping Tabs. I'm your host, Tabitha, aka Tabs, and this is your spot for sports, WWE, and pop culture buzz. Welcome to episode 5, everyone. We are going to be talking about the latest WWE drama going on from Saturday night's main event in San Antonio, Texas, to Monday Night Raw in Atlanta, and also NXT that was in Atlanta. So let's get into it. Alright, like I said, guys, we're going to be talking all things WWE. Starting off with Saturday night's main event that occurred in San Antonio, Texas, which, by the way, I don't only think I'm like 2.5, 3 hours from San Antonio, and I really wish I could have gone to this, but I swear, next time WWE is in Texas, I'm going. But let's get into it. So the first match on the card was Nia Jax versus Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship. They definitely built off their match from last year. Even though this wasn't a big PLE like Elimination Chamber was last year, I really enjoyed the match overall. Had some really good spots. Rhea hit Nia with a power bomb. Rhea also flying off the top rope outside the ring to get her. I always love it when they're flying like that. I really like the reverse annihilator that Nia hit on Rhea, where instead of her being face up, she was face down. I really like that, but of course Rhea kicked out. But overall, that match was pretty freaking awesome. And when Rhea gets up and hits the electric chair after getting hit with basically a reverse annihilator and just boop, so easy, mommy all the way, retains the title. Overall, it was a pretty good match. I thought it could have been a little bit better. Just where does this lead to? I feel like it was kind of filler because Nia gets moved over to Monday Night Raw. I don't really see why they did this match. Maybe they just needed a big women's match on the card. Who knows? The second match of the night at Saturday night's main event was Sheamus versus Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental Championship. And as Pat McAfee would say, it's fight night. I freaking love that. Anyways, another banger. Any match Sheamus is in is a banger, number one. Honestly, Braun Breaker is starting to be like that as well because that kid knows how to put on a show. He is entertaining as hell. That spear where Sheamus is running, jumps on the steps, jumps up at Braun, and hits him with that spear. Holy shit, dude. That was absolutely just insane. I thought they were going to give it to Sheamus there a couple times, though, because the whole match, it was pretty back and forth for the most part. Had a couple really close two counts. And then Braun is lining up for the spear at the end of the match, but gets hit with the bro kick from Sheamus. Somehow, though, Braun got his foot on the rope right before the 3 count. Controversial, as Jesse Ventura would say as he was on commentary for that match. He thought that the ref hit the 3 count instead, and he truly believes that Sheamus should be the IC champion right now. But that's not the case. Braun ends up getting another spear and retains. I see him holding that title for a while anyways, at least till Mania, probably longer. The third thing we had happen was the contract signing of Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens for their Royal Rumble matchup in the ladder match for the undisputed WWE Championship. And the special guest was none other than HBK, the Heartbreak Kid's Shawn Michaels. First off, KO's shirt trolling, whatever shirt he comes out with that night, has just been 10 out of 10. Comes out with a Cody Sucks Egg shirt. Absolutely class. Of course, we get a funny stare down from them. Cody's the first one to sign the contract because he kind of is just over the bullshit. And every time you think KO's about to sign the contract, he just keeps going in at Cody, grabs the mic, and just starts chirping again. But eventually, they get the contract signed. And as Shawn Michaels is going to shake their hands, KO kind of refuses. So he shakes Cody's hand, which pisses KO off, and then tries to hit him with a package pile driver. Cody super kicks KO square to the face. We got to see that sweet chin music from Shawn Michaels as he hits KO square in the face. That was amazing. Honestly, that's all I wanted to see out of that segment was somebody get hit with the sweet chin music. And I'm kind of glad it was KO, but... The third match we had at Saturday night's main event was Jacob Fatu and Braun Strowman, the Samoan werewolf versus the monster of all monsters. This match we knew was going to be vicious and just absolutely, I don't even know what to, unhumane, bro. Like, it was insane. I loved how they started the match with Jacob walking out with Tama and doing a little promo because his promos are so fire, man. Like, his promo skills are just unreal. Also, Jacob Fatu just has so much aura. Like, his entrance, the way they present him is 10 out of 10, man. I love it. and I've been saying this for weeks, he's going to be main eventing WrestleMania in a few years. Just wait. Overall, it was a pretty good match. We knew it was going to be brutal, vicious. I mean, again, werewolf versus monster. It was going to be two big men that are crazy athletic, throwing each other around, jumping out of the ring, doing all the crazy stuff they can. The match ended up ending in a DQ on Fatu, so Braun technically won. But basically, Fatu was just not chilling out, and the ref was like, okay, I have to DQ him because he literally had no option. So, but Fatu busted open Braun Strowman, which is it's when we see color, it's always a pretty big deal. So that's a good sign that we're getting that out of that rivalry. Hopefully it's going to continue because, it's fun to watch. It's kind of like when Bronson Reed and Strowman had their little thing on Monday Night Raw. It's just fun to watch. Eat some TV time. I'm fine with it. But I hate how they have to bring out the entire locker room. And then people just sit there. There's like 15, 20 people in the ring just sitting there and just watching him do 3 moonsaults to Braun Strowman. And it's like, you guys ran out to the ring for a reason. Stop him. Like, do something. Doesn't make sense sometimes. And then in the main event of Saturday Night Main Event, we had main event Jey Uso versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. Personally, I've said this many times before, I'm not a fan of Gunther. His title reign has been boring. It's just the same thing over and over again with each opponent. It's just him talking shit to his opponent, talking down to them, acting like he's better. And granted, he is a phenomenal wrestler in the ring. I just don't like his character at all. And that's what wrestling is there's people you connect with and that you like, and there's people you don't. And Gunther's one of the handful I really just don't care for at all. Like, people love watching Logan Paul wrestle. I hate watching Logan Paul wrestle. He's great in the ring, yes. But his character is not really good to me at all. And he's a terrible person. So Gunther started off strong by kicking Jey square in the face when he was trying to throw his Yeet sunglasses out at some fans. Beginning, Gunther was definitely controlling the match, but then Jey finally gets back into it, and they're going back and forth for a while. Couple 2 counts here and there, couple close kickouts for sure. Once Jey finally gets going and they get in a rhythm in the match, it was a good match overall. A lot of people like to diss at Jey that he's not good in the ring and he does the same few moves over and over again, but it's not about being the best wrestler all the time. It's about how the crowd reacts and how they connect with the crowd. And obviously, Jey is one of the most over superstars in all of WWE. I was kind of surprised they didn't put the title on him, man. Like, a lot of us were believing that he was going to win. And there was moments, when he hit Gunther with the sit-down powerbomb, when he hit him with the spear, Gunther kicks out. And then, dude, the end, I really didn't like the ending. I was not a fan of the ending at all. Gunther gets hit with a super kick, a spear, and an Uso splash back to back to back, and still kicks out. It's like, bro, what does Jey got to do? I feel like he's just making him look weak, number one, but it's also making Gunther look so unbeatable when it's like, dude, Sammy beat him with 1 hulu. Oh, well, I guess it was 2 hulu kicks, but come on, bro, 3 finishers? Like, those are 3 finishers right there. Super kicks are overplayed nowadays, but still, like, super kick, spear, and Uso splash, and you're telling me Gunther's kicking out? Come on, bro. Like, I thought it was a bullshit ending. I think they should have had, like, a DQ or something instead, because I know it doesn't really hurt Jey, and I don't think he's going to win the Royal Rumble, but, like, when are you going to put the title on my dog? He deserves it, man. He's literally the most over person in the entire company. Like, let's be real. All right, guys, let's talk about Monday Night Raw that happened in Atlanta this past week. Seth freaking Rollins starting off the show. I freaking love Seth so much. He's definitely been one of my favorite wrestlers. I love his promos. I just love his character. One of those guys I just connect with, Gunther comes out because Seth Rollins was talking about the world title and how he wants it back. And Gunther basically just said, you used to be the best in the world, but not anymore. That's me. We knew we were going to see Logan Paul at some point on Monday Night Raw, and we finally got it. And I'm going to be honest, man, he might have got booed louder than Dominic, because those boos were very much loud. Very proud Atlanta was of booing him. And I agree with you, Atlanta. Y'all see the meme with that girl doing the L at him? That was hilarious. But obviously, Logan declared for the Royal Rumble, said he's going to become world champ. Triple H, I swear, dude, if you make Logan Paul world champ at any point, I will not be watching because I think that's stupid. We had a little CM Punk and Sami Zayn running in the backstage. Sami, quote, I'm a WrestleMania main eventer. Because if you know, Punk has not main evented WrestleMania ever. The first match of the night, we had the War Raiders and the Judgment Day for the tag titles. JD McDonough and Dominic Mysterio as Finn Balor is out of injury. And of course, War Raiders retaining. I kind of thought they were going to give it a Judgment Day for a little bit there, but we got a quick Pete Dunne and Ludwig Kaiser backstage moment. That could be a good match right there. We did learn that Zelina Vega is getting moved over to SmackDown, and that was her last night on Monday Night Raw. Also, we had Rey Mysterio versus Xavier Woods. So if you didn't know, Xavier Woods is also from Atlanta, where they were, and was supposed to have his family there, but when they walk out, there is no family. Towards the end of the match, his family comes out in New Day Sucks shirts because they obviously have been on their heel run for a while now. I thought that was hilarious, honestly. It was definitely a good moment. But at the end of the day, Rey Mysterio got the win over Xavier Woods, just like he got the win over Kofi Kingston last week. And the New Day, again, don't know what the heck they're doing, but the heel New Day I like. I just don't know what they're doing with it. We had Mr. Jey Uso come out with Quavo because Atlanta had some stars out at WWE on Monday night. Honestly, I was kind of confused because they just came out and they were just dancing and yeeting to his music for a good 5, 6, 7 minutes. And then it was like, his promo was just like, I'm going to win the Royal Rumble. It was kind of confusing. I mean, I love Jay, but it was just kind of confusing overall. But, I mean, I could see him as a sleeper pick to win the Royal Rumble for sure. Lyra Valkyria, the new IC Women's Champion, popped up for a quick promo. We had another tag match, Liv and Raquel versus the tag champs Bianca Belair and Naomi. Of course, Dirty Dominic Mysterio comes out for the distraction and tries to help Liv and Raquel win. His little distraction actually worked, and Liv got the pin. I'm guessing that sets up a tag title match for Liv and Raquel in the future. And then we had a Rhea Ripley promo in the backstage area where Bayley is the one that interrupted her. And then right after that little tiff, we had Io Sky and her have a stare down. Interesting, right? I think Io is my pick for the Rumble. And Penta declares for the Royal Rumble. And we also got him and Braun Breaker having a moment with looking at the IC title on Braun's shoulder. And then we get Paul Heyman coming out to the ring, announcing Roman as the cover as the 2K25. Here's a funny quote that Paul Heyman said on Monday night. He said, there will be 30 men in the Royal Rumble, 1 Roman Reigns, and 29 Roman Reigns wannabes. I was like, bro, I just love his passion for Roman and the way his character is just so immersed into Roman Reigns and everything he does. I love it. I thought we were going to see Roman tonight, but I guess it was just the announcement of him being on the cover. But I kind of wish he was there. But out of all people, Drew McIntyre comes and interrupts the wise man. Basically, Drew claims that he is the daddy of the bloodline and that he is the sole and true reason for the bloodline starting and the spark of it. A lot of people think Seth Rollins is the one that created the tribal chief. But what Drew was saying makes sense. Basically asked Paul Heyman to thank him for creating the bloodline or being the one to start the bloodline and have that series of events lead to what has happened. Before Paul can leave, because he looks scared and he looks like he's about to shit himself, Drew is like, give your boy a message for me. And then Paul is like, okay, I'll tell your tribal chief. And basically Drew was like, no, Punk. Because we all know that Heyman still owes Punk a favor, so we're wondering if that's going to play out on Saturday, or is that going to play out at Elimination Chamber? Is it going to play out at Mania? Is it going to just, when is that going to happen? When is that going to play out? And then we had Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn. I did not know this, but Drew is now 11-0 against Sami because he beat him once again, just like he did at Saturday night's main event back in December. Sami Zayn really being 0-11 against Drew McIntyre is kind of surprising, low-key, but it was a pretty good match overall. Drew started crashing out at the end. Cody actually came out to help rescue Sami. Drew has Cody in the corner, and once again, Drew is able to dodge out of the way so that Sami Kalulu kicks his friend just like he did to Seth Rollins last week. He did the same thing to Cody. At the end of the night, though, we are in Cody Rhodes' hometown, so of course the undisputed WWE champion is going to give a promo. And it's basically right after he gets the kick shit out of him from KO, and then also taking a Hululu kick. The surprise of the night was CM Punk coming out and interrupting. I was not expecting this, but I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. He basically asked Cody, are you all right, man? Because it's like, it seems like this whole championship thing is going to your head, and I know where you're at. I've been there. About day 300 is when I started going crazy. He said, I'm your friend, but I'll stab you in the front like a good friend, basically. Like, all your fake friends are stabbing you in the back. I'm a good friend. I'm going to stab you in the front. Basically says, I'm going to win the Rumble, and I will see you at the main event of WrestleMania 41. Book it right now. Triple H, please book it. Cody versus Punk for the title, night 2 of main eventing WrestleMania would be insane. Insane! Alright, everyone, NXT was also in Atlanta, so let's recap it for you. To begin the night, we had Julia, the NXT Women's Champion, team up with Bayley, the NXT Legend, to go against Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez. Overall, solid match by the ladies. They're always throwing on bangers down in NXT, but the women specifically, they know how to get it done. Cora did accidentally hit Roxanne in the face, which ends up leading to Cora getting pinned, which Roxanne was kind of salty at, and seems like their friendship is already getting a division once again. We had Obafemi on the Grayson Waller effect. I've done more in NXT than the both of you have combined. And, I mean, that is true. Oba basically just gets annoyed of them and just says, all right, which one of you am I going to face at Vengeance Day? To which Ava comes out and like, hey, Oba, you don't make the matches. You're not the GM. You're just the champ. I make the matches. Which leads to us getting a triple threat of Obafemi versus Grayson Waller versus Austin Theory at Vengeance Day in February. Now, you'd think it's going to be like a 2-on-1 basically, but maybe we finally get the split between Austin Theory and Grayson Waller like we've all been wanting and waiting for. At the end of the Grayson Waller effect, Trick William comes out and starts beating some ass, throwing Grayson Waller and Austin Theory outside the ring. But as soon as he turns around, Obafemi hits him with a fall from grace. And that is right before his match against Wesley is too, so he is already beat to hell. During the match, Wesley takes advantage of Trick's injuries by going for the ribs and the lower back. Somehow Trick starts getting all crazy and getting a second wind of energy and basically gets DQ'd because he won't get him out of the corner. The ref had to DQ him. He didn't really have a choice. He wouldn't get out of the corner. Like, what is he supposed to do? He had to control the match. And then basically Trick Williams was just having a crash out like Drew McIntyre or Kevin Owens does on a weekly basis. Next week, we are going to get Obafemi and Trick Williams teaming up to go against Austin Theory and Grayson Waller in a tag match. The third match of the night, we had Fallon Henley versus Shotzi for the North American Women's Championship. I'm going to just say this straight up. I think Fallon's finisher sucks. That stupid running little leg drop, I think that sucks. But it was a pretty decent match overall. Fallon does retain and will go one-on-one with Stephanie Vaquer at Vengeance Day in February. Carmen Petrovic calls Kalani a bitch. We get another Vengeance Day match in a triple threat. Julia defending her title against Bayley and Roxanne Perez, because of course she deserves a rematch since she just lost her title to Julia. And then we had Ethan Page versus Cedric, which was a pretty intense match overall. They're definitely using the angle of Ethan's going to hurt you, he's going to break you, he's going to do something bad to you, he's a bad person type of thing. And yeah, he was. He basically almost broke Cedric's hand. Basically breaks Cedric's hand multiple times. Gets the dub in the match, and I love that they switched his finisher. I kind of like it's like a twist of faith into a cutter, or whatever. I like it, though. Javon comes out to save Cedric, though, because Ethan basically did what Drew did on Monday Night Raw and just crashes out even after they win and then starts beating them up more. And then in the main event of the night was the Women's Tag Team Championship match. Bianca Belair and Naomi versus the Meta Girls, Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. I'm a big fan of the Meta Girls. I'm a big fan of both of them. I think they're both really, really talented and will be on the main roster pretty soon in the next year or two. And there was many times when the Meta Girls were so close, man. That one roll-up Jakara had, I really thought it was a 3 count. I really, really did. But of course, the tag team champs retain. Are we going to get something at the Royal Rumble? Are we going to find out when who to tag Jade? Like, what's going to happen, man? I need this situation with Bianca, Naomi, and Jade. I need this to get sorted and figured out because I'm kind of tired of it. But also, in the middle of that match, we did see a thing in the corner of Cora basically yelling that she needed to talk to Ava. And if you're on I still call it Twitter. If you're on X, I saw Cora tweet at Ava, unblock me or something. I'm guessing Cora wants to be inserted into the women's title match, so maybe it's a fatal 4-way instead. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it as always. Look out for episode 6 as we're going to be talking about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion, NFL football, getting ready for the Super Bowl, and much, much more. Thank you guys. And as always, don't forget to keep tabs.